Goalissimo, it's El Super Clasico time as River and Boca go head-to-head in Argentina. We're back in the company of much-maligned French striker Nicolas Anelka. And as always, there's a full roundup of the best goals from across the football globe. In the German Bundesliga, Hamburg's poor start to the campaign continued in a match that encapsulated their season so far. Schalke went in front after 16 minutes as Halil Alintop slid his shot past Sascha Kirstein to open the scoring. But Thomas Doll's side dug in and got their reward on the half hour when Peter Trokowski made the most of a long ball from Boubacar Sanogo before blasting past Frank Rost. Despite being reduced to 10 men with the dismissal of David Jerolim, the hosts were then given a golden opportunity to take the lead with the award of a penalty minutes into the second period, but Sanogo squandered the chance as Ross saved his spot kick. And they then paid the ultimate price as Schalke's fluent passing ended with Marcelo Bordon heading the winner. Early season pace setters Hertha Berlin came crashing back down to earth at the Allianz Arena. Lukas Podolski began the move that led to the first goal, feeding a neat pass through for Roy Mackay to score. Claudio Pizarro then provided Willy Sagnol the perfect ball for the French defender to slam home from close range. The hosts continued their relentless pace in the second half, and Peruvian forward Claudio Pizarro soon found himself all alone in front of goal to drive a deserved third past Christian Fiedler. Hertha pulled two back as Bayern eased off the gas, but there was still time for a fourth to add some gloss to the scoreline, and this time it was Podolski who netted to cap a fine performance. But it's Werder Bremen who've stormed to the top of the table after this emphatic beating of Bochum. It took only 7 minutes for Bremen to get in front. Torsten Frings and Diego were both denied, but Aaron Hunt was on hand to net the second rebound. That was how it remained until the hour mark, when Frings' corner eventually found its way to Christian Schulz, who made no mistake at the far post. And that goal opened the floodgates as Diego pulled the ball back for Jurica Ranez, whose shot found the net thanks to a deflection of Philippe Bonig. Diego was in mesmerising form, and he made it 4 after sambering his way through the entire Bochum defence and rounding Skov Jensen to score. And the Brazilian was involved in the fifth as well, teeing up Clemens Fritz to fire into the roof of the net. The scoring was rounded off in stoppage time when Naldo struck an unstoppable free kick to make it 6-0. It's clear to see Bremen mean business. Elsewhere in the Bundesliga, Thomas Hitzelsperger lashed home the third as Stuttgart beat Leverkusen 3-0 and Borussia Mönchengladbach cruised to victory over a hapless Wolfsburg. Aachen are on a roll right now, and their impressive victory at Mainz has lifted them to 4th place. Gladbach's win has moved them into the top 6. Bochum's heavy defeat leaves them rooted to the bottom. Hamburg's disastrous start sees them languishing in 17th, and another defeat also leaves Wolfsburg struggling. What are the best bets on this week's football? My guess is the tipster has a few ideas. Kicking off with a look at the German Bundesliga.
A top-of-the-table clash in Germany is our pick of the week when leaders Werder Bremen host Bayern Munich. And you have to respect Bremen at 7-5. They've won both their last 2 meetings with the German champions. But it looks like Bayern strikers have found their shooting boots, including Lukas Podolski, who scored his first Bundesliga goal in the 4-2 home win against Berlin last time out. But Bremen know where the net is after a 6-goal demolition of Bochum and will go into this cracking tie full of confidence.
the Dutch Eredivisie, AZ Alkmaar kept themselves in the title hunt with a comfortable victory at bottom side Sparta. The visitors took the lead when Gretar Steinsen headed Simon Ziommer's free kick past the helpless Joost Terol. And it was 2-0 11 minutes from time when Moussa Dembele crossed from the left and Ziommer left it for Danny Koevermans, who finished smartly. In Eindhoven, last season's champions fell behind to an early David Defoe goal, the Rodder defender producing a sublime strike after just 4 minutes. PSV's hopes of a result look to be diminishing before 4 goals in the final 15 minutes. Jefferson Farfan started the comeback, powering the ball past goalkeeper Vladan Kujovic to make it 1 apiece. PSV keeper Gomez loved that one. Two minutes later, Farfan the provider, and what a cheeky little flick from Alex to give PSV the lead. Roda then lost Jan-Paul Saiz to a red card, and then Ismail Aysati broke through the visitors' defence to add a third late on. And at last, Ronald Koeman could afford himself a smile. The scoring was complete deep into injury time when, after Cohn's shot was saved, Roy Behrens pounced to make it 4. Ajax maintained their position at the top, but not without a fight against Groningen. The hosts led just after the break when Klaas-Jan Huntelaar found space on the right and fed Ryan Babel to stroke home. Fans' favourite Johnny Heitinga then turned villain 5 minutes later, fouling Erik Nevland to concede a penalty. And Yevgeny Levchenko strode up nonchalantly to net the equaliser. Then a horrendous error from Martin Stekelenburg gifted Groningen the lead. The Ajax keeper came out to clear an aimless long ball, but only managed to hit the on-rushing Luis Suarez, who found himself with the goal at his mercy. Though the advantage didn't last long, as with 15 minutes remaining, Bas Roda made a hash of coming for Heitinga's cross, and Babel converted a simple chance from close range for his second of the game. And in the closing stages, Ajax won an epic match as Obi Emanuelson picked up possession in midfield, took a couple of strides forward before unleashing a thunderbolt which rocketed into the top left corner. Elsewhere in the Eredivisie, Den Haag went 2-1 down at home to FC Twente, and Feyenoord produced a rousing comeback to rescue a point at RKC in a 2-2 draw. Ajax lead the way by a point from RZ. PSV are also in the mix as the usual suspects begin to pull away. Groningen remain 4th despite defeat in Amsterdam. Sparta are rock bottom with just a point. Only goal difference keeps Den Haag above them. NEC Nijmegen's win at fellow strugglers Breda lifts them to 13th. Chelsea's Peter Cech was left needing surgery to a fractured skull before Frank Lampard's free kick was deflected in for the only goal against Reading. The Blues also lost reserve goalkeeper Carlo Cudicini to concussion. Portsmouth continued their great start to the season. Goals from Carnu and Andy Cole heaped more misery on a sorry West Ham. Juan Pablo Angel missed a penalty and then put through his own net, but his blushes were spared by captain Gareth Barry's superb equaliser to rescue Aston Villa a point against Spurs. And Arsene Wenger gave Theo Walcott his first start as Arsenal comfortably overcame Watford. Thierry Henry amongst the goals in a 3-0 win. Elsewhere in the Barclays Premiership, Mark Viduka scored to give Middlesbrough a much-needed victory against high-flying Everton, and Man United came from behind to defeat Wigan. Manchester United and Chelsea remain locked together at the top. Bolton's impressive run has seen them climb to 3rd, and 4 straight wins sees Arsenal up to 5th. Charlton's disastrous campaign continued with defeat at Fulham, leaving them adrift at the bottom. Another loss for West Ham sees them drop into the relegation zone. Fancy a flutter on this week's football? Here's the tipster's ones to watch. Now he's turning his attention to the English Premier League.
Man United go into this mega fixture on the back of an impressive 3-1 victory at Wigan, and more importantly the return to form of Wayne Rooney, who looks sensational. Craig Bellamy will be hoping to continue his goal-scoring form after breaking his Liverpool duck against old team Blackburn. We told you last week to keep an eye on the explosive Welshman in the goal-scorer market. You have to favour Man United, who top the EPL, whilst Liverpool prop up the top half of the table. Rafa's Reds won at Old Trafford in 2004, but they have won just one of their last 5 encounters.
Mark Hughes managed to halt Rafa's revolution as Blackburn held Liverpool to a 1-1 draw at Anfield this week. Benny McCarthy's strike was cancelled out by Craig Bellamy's equaliser, his first league goal for the club coming against the side he left in the summer. But it's without doubt one of the biggest derbies in world soccer. When River Plate meet Boca Juniors, Argentina comes to a standstill. Such is the excitement and interest it evokes, the media glare creates a pressure cooker atmosphere like no other. And like most great soccer rivalries, this one goes much deeper than mere football alone. Both clubs were founded in the poor district of Buenos Aires called La Boca. A story claims that the two clubs played a match to decide who stayed in the neighbourhood, and having lost, River Plate had to relocate. So in the 1930s they moved to an area called Núñez, which is nowadays preferred by the upper classes. During that time, River acquired new players by paying fees in gold. As a result, the club became known as Los Millonarios, the millionaires. The class war has never sat well with Boca fans, and much of the traditional resentment stems from this difference in wealth, with Boca being regarded as the club of Argentina's working class, in contrast with the supposedly more upper-class support base of their crosstown rivals. Therefore, Boca fans are mostly made up of working-class people. They call themselves Geneses, meaning Genoese. In fact, Boca's earliest supporters were Genovese immigrants.
Oh, de corazón, esta hinchada que te quiere ver campeón.
As the superpowers of Argentine football, they are the protagonists of the so-called El Superclásico, the Super Derby. The title comes from the Spanish word clásico, meaning classic. That's the word used to mean derby in Argentina. The rivalry runs deep, and the club's supporters regularly distribute posters to tease the other team after a defeat between them. This has become part of Buenos Aires culture ever since a Boca winning streak in the 1990s. This derby is also considered to be one of the most exciting in the world. In 2004, British newspaper The Observer made a list of 50 sporting things you must do before you die. Watch Boca Juniors play River Plate in Buenos Aires top the list. Known worldwide for the intense support and passion of their fans, the hypnotic chanting against their rivals fuels the fields of both teams, with both stadiums coming alive on derby days awash with colour, fireworks, flags and ticker tape. River are based at the magnificently titled Estadio Monumental Antonio Vespucio Liberti, but it's better known simply as the Monumental or River Stadium. Boca play at what's regarded by many as a mecca of world football, the Bombonera, or as it's most commonly referred, the Chocolate Box. While Boca's fans are known for valuing sacrifice and loyalty in good times and bad, River Plate's fans in contrast are known for demanding attractive play from their team. Their difference in opinion has led to infrequent riots in the past between the hardest supporters of both sides, meaning a heavy police presence is the norm on Derby Day. Boca have had the better of their meetings through the years, and that's why their fans call their River counterparts Hijos Nuestros, which translates as our sons, in allusion to statistics favouring their team. This week, the two sides met for the 179th time at the Monumental. As well as local pride on the line, there was also the small matter of the Apertura title race. Let's join the action in the first half.
River really have started this at a good tempo. Passing's been tight and crisp. Belushi and Zapata combining well. Higuain with a shot, back off the post. Ball goes in again. Farias hits the bar. It wouldn't have counted though. The flag was up. How close was that? River Plate nearly in front. Early stages, that was close. Belushi to take the free kick. The captain wanting a little bit more movement, lays it back to Zapata, and it's been flicked in by Higuain, and River Plate lead in the derby. Daniela Passarella celebrates, River Plate celebrate. It's a crucial breakthrough. How will they respond now? Boca behind, and this is going to be a real test for them. This is Gargo now. Plays it forward, it's a lovely turn from Palacio, and there is the response. Boca back level, and that's a glorious goal from Rodrigo Palacio, his 6th of the season, and we're all square. Shot from Palermo, charged down, and look at this, River have got the break on here. It's 3-on-3, and Belushi with a wonderful pass through. Hits Higuain, one-on-one with the keeper. There was never any other outcome. 2-1, River regained the lead, and Gonzalo Higuain has bagged himself a brace on the biggest stage of all. It's a lovely ball through, and it's Farias now in the centre with the header, and a great stop from Bobadilla. That was the chance to seal it. Again, Boca dispossessed, and they've left themselves open at the back. Belushi gets his head up and picks the perfect pass. It's Farias for free! The River Plate! Derby victory is surely within their grasp. 5 games without a goal, and Farias has at last ended the drought. Belushi, lovely skill, and then it was Silvestre into the back of Farias, and I don't think referee Horacio Elizondo will have any other choice. It's a second booking, and the man who sent Zidane off in the World Cup final has given Silvestre his marching orders here. The final stages, the olés from the River crowd. They can olé now. They've reduced gap at the top to just a point. Passarella can celebrate. It finishes River free. Boca 1.
Elsewhere in Argentina, Gonzalo Bergesio scored the winner in Racing's 2-1 victory over Colón Santa Fe, and Independiente suffered a surprise 3-1 defeat at Godoy Cruz. River's derby victory puts them right back in the Apertura hunt, just a point behind rivals Boca at the top. Estudiantes stay in the mix as well. Quilmes remained bottom, and they've played a game more than their nearest rivals Colón. A run of disappointing results has seen Banfield slip into the bottom 6. Javi Guerrero gave Recreativo a surprise lead over Atletico Madrid, but a Torres penalty and Sergio Aguero's strike completed the comeback. David Beckham failed to motivate Real Madrid as they crashed to a single-goal defeat at Getafe, courtesy of Alexis. David Navarro's first of the season wasn't enough for Valencia, who were pegged back by a Francesco Baiano-inspired Celta Vigo. That left Barcelona with the chance to take an outright lead at the top. Ronaldinho put them ahead, and despite Freddy Canute's leveller for Sevilla, Barca cruised to victory with another Ronaldinho goal, and then a third from Argentinian wonderboy Lionel Messi. Elsewhere in La Liga, Athletic Bilbao gained a vital win at fellow strugglers Gimnastic, Betis held Deportivo, and Real Sociedad lost again at home to Zaragoza. Barcelona have opened a 3-point gap at the top, which is already an ominous sign, but Valencia and Atletico Madrid remain in touch with the leaders. For Real Sociedad are still without a win and stay bottom. Betis and Bilbao have showed signs of improvement, as have Santander, who are up to 15th.
Time now to hear from the tipster, bringing you his take on the football week ahead. This time focusing on the Spanish Primera League.
So it's the big one, and Real Madrid will be hoping to close the 5-point gap that rivals Barcelona have taken at the top of La Liga. David Beckham got his first start in a 1-0 defeat at Getafe, and despite contract talks being halted, he will be looking to bang in one of those trademark free kicks against the Spanish champions at the Bernabeu and prove to manager Fabio Capello he's still got what it takes. Last time out it ended all square, but who will forget that Ronaldinho super show last November when the Catalans ran out 3-0 winners in the Galacticos backyard.
In the SPL, Hibs' new caretaker manager Mark Venus took his place in the Easter Road dugout as Hibernian faced their first match after the departure of former boss Tony Mowbray. It couldn't have been a tougher assignment than the Edinburgh derby against city rivals Hearts, though it started well enough, with Merouane Zemama coolly turning 2 defenders before slotting the ball home. And as the visitors toiled, they fell further behind as Chris Killen glanced Zemama's near-post corner past Craig Gordon. Hearts were struggling to find any momentum, but they were handed a lifeline in the 28th minute thanks to Zbigniew Malkowski's blunder. The pole came out to the edge of the box after Lee Wallace's long ball, but got nowhere near it, and Andrius Velička headed into an empty net. Hearts had Saulius Mikuliunas sent off, but the 10 men rescued a point thanks to a well-taken second from Velička. Paul Le Guen continues to bemoan his disjointed Rangers side after a disappointing home defeat against Minnows in Inverness. Though the Gers should have had the game sewn up by the break, Thomas Buffel blew one of many opportunities. There was only one goal and it went to the visitors. Lionel Letizzi spilt Craig Dargo's shot and the French keeper failed to recover in time to stop Graham Bain saying thank you very much. Letizzi's inclusion had been roundly criticised by the home fans, and this little moment did little to appease them. Celtic cruised to victory at Tannadice, but it wasn't all plain sailing. They went behind after Artur Boruc allowed Noel Hunt's shot to squirm under his grasp. The Taysiders should have made it 2 soon after, but Barry Robson passed up a great chance when he miskicked from just 6 yards out. Celtic were dominant after that, and they got their reward in the 44th minute when Shunsuke Nakamura latched onto a Yuri Jarosik header to slip home the equaliser. The Hoops were rampant in the second half and went in front just after the break. Jarosik missed the attempted overhead, but the ball fell kindly to Nakamura, who slammed his and Celtic's second past Derek Stilley. Moments later, the 3 points were as good as one when Sean Maloney threaded a pass through to Jan Vennegoor of Hesselink for the Dutchman to score with ease. With the hour mark approaching, Japanese playmaker Nakamura completed his hat-trick as he controlled a Jarosik pass and curled a left-footed shot beyond Stilley to make it 4-1. Elsewhere in the SPL, Motherwell got a much-needed win at home to Dunfermline, and Kilmarnock have strengthened their position in the top half with victory over Aberdeen. Celtic stayed top after another comprehensive victory, and the Hoops have extended their lead after Hearts dropped points in the Edinburgh derby, and Rangers were beaten at home. Dundee United remain bottom after that home humbling by Celtic. Motherwell's victory over Dunfermline means they swap places. The Well are up to 10th. Last week we met the much maligned and much travelled striker Nicolas Anelka. From his modest beginnings at Paris Saint-Germain, the Frenchman has pulled on the colours of some of Europe's biggest and best clubs, and also picked up his fair share of honours. He made the biggest impression on the English Premier League though, and Anelka is still adamant that his best form came at Anfield, playing under a fellow countryman.
I think it was in Liverpool.
Did you like working with Houllier?
Yeah, but it's not about the manager. I think it was about the club and the players. I liked Liverpool, the stadium, the fans, and everything about the club.
But it was his time at Highbury under the tutelage of Arsene Wenger that made him a star with Arsenal. It earned Anelka a multi-million move to the Bernabeu and the chance to play for Real Madrid. But how did he find life as a Galactico?
Yeah, I think it's good to play with again in the big clubs. I think that helped me in my football. When you play in Real Madrid, you have a lot of pressure, and even in training. And when you play in England, I don't think it's the same. Now, after that, I played in Manchester and also now in Bolton. And I think my game is better because I played in a different position in Madrid, and I think now I can play my best football because I played in a big club with a lot of pressure.
Now Anelka has returned to England with Bolton Wanderers, but his last port of call was the football hotbed of Istanbul. So how did life at Fenerbahce compare to his previous clubs?
I think it was great. It's very different when you play in Turkey. You have maybe more passion, but it's something I'm glad because I played in France, in Spain, in England, also in Turkey, and I can say I'm very happy to have this experience to play in Turkey, and I will remember my stay in Istanbul.
His renewed appetite has also brought a recall from French coach Raymond Domenech. But having criticised the international setup in the past, will he be part of Les Bleus for good? Or was his goal-scoring return against the Faroe Islands a false dawn?
I can play in a national team again, and now it's up to the manager. I have to play my best in Bolton to play good game. I have to score, and after we'll see.
The myth that surrounds Nicolas Anelka is that he's an awkward loner, arrogant and outspoken. But is he merely misunderstood and misrepresented by the media?
Nobody knows me, but I am who I am. I'm just happy to play football and try to do my best. That's it.
In the French Ligue 1, Bordeaux took advantage of Monaco's poor form to get their own season going. Jean-Claude Darcheville provided the pass for Edixon Pereira, who fired a vicious shot past Flavio Roma to clinch the points. Rennes needed a result, and they got one against a sluggish Auxerre. The home side's pressure was rewarded 7 minutes before the break when John Utaka produced a stunning volley. Rennes nicked a second after good work from Etienne Didot, and Monterrubio set up Sylvain Marveaux at the far post on the stroke of half-time. Utaka rounded off a superb personal display with the third goal after 79 minutes, and it was all his own work. José's Lionel Mathis then scored a consolation, but it was too little too late for the visitors. Marseille lost ground at the top, but they got off to a flyer. Lens Gregory Vignal saw red for the home side on the hour mark after bringing down Mamadou Niang in the penalty area. And the Senegalese striker brushed himself down to convert the spot kick. But 10 minutes from time, Lorik Kana was judged to have hauled down Vitorino Hilton in the box, and Aruna Dindan rescued a point for the home side when he stepped up to slot home from the spot. Lyon's unbeaten start to the new campaign continued against Saint-Étienne. Juninho was a constant threat for the champions, with this long-range effort from the Brazilian flashing just wide. The hosts had to wait until the 65th minute to take the lead, as Thiago finished coolly from inside the penalty area following Juninho's pass. But the advantage was short-lived, as Johan Hautkeur's speculative effort took a huge deflection and landed Remy Vercoutre. Lyon should have been back in front soon after. They were awarded a penalty when Lamine Diatta was sent off for pushing Florent Malouda in the back. But Juninho missed the chance as Jeremy Janot saved his spot kick. However, the diminutive Brazilian made amends and secured the victory in the 88th minute when he fired home from Malouda's excellent cross. Elsewhere in Ligue 1, Alain Perrin-Sochaux got back on track with 3 points at Nantes, and a Pauletta brace helped Paris Saint-Germain to a 4-2 triumph over Sedan. Lyon still lead the way, and with Marseille dropping points at Lens, they now have opened up a 5-point gap at the top. Bordeaux are up to 5th. Nantes have dropped to bottom after another defeat. Monaco are still the surprise strugglers, languishing in 18th, and Rennes' victory moves them up to 15th. The Portuguese Superliga, Benfica appear to have found their form at last, and they have Fabrizio Miccoli back to his best as well, although he should have given them an early lead against União Lera. And didn't he just know it? But the Italian hitman made up for that miss on the half hour when a neat interchange orchestrated by Simão ended in Miccoli producing a perfectly executed chip. This one's worth seeing again. As somebody once said, when the chips are up, they're definitely up. And Miccoli doubled his tally on the stroke of half-time. Benfica toying with their opponents and rolling back the years with some fantastic exhibition football. At 2-0, the visitors were in complete control and made their dominance tell after 63 minutes when Nuno Gomes volleyed a terrific third. Benfica sealed the deal from the spot. Handball the verdict. Oh, it did appear a little harsh. And up stepped Captain Marvel Simão to bury the penalty and clinch an impressive away victory. Braga are looking the real deal too. After Venda was fouled, he delivered the set piece himself onto the head of Paulo Jorge to give the visitors a 1-0 lead. Braga made it 2 with another textbook header. This time it was the supplier of the first, Venda, who leapt in to score. And the last word went to Ricardo Chavez. How about this for technique? A stunning volley wrapped up a 3-goal win. The champions were in devastating form at the Dragão and simply outmaneuvered an inferior Maritimo side. Helder Postiga opened the scoring. Necker then went close to putting through his own net, and he had his keeper to thank here. Porto were easing through the gears now, and more incisive play set Lisandro through, but he shot wide. The second of the night eventually came from the penalty spot after Postiga was unceremoniously pulled down. Argentine skipper Lucho Gonzalez did the honours from 12 yards. And there was still time for a third. It came courtesy of Postiga, the former Tottenham striker, notching up his second of the night. Yes, Spurs fans, that really is him. Porto's victory put the pressure on city rivals Sporting as they travel to Amadora, needing a win to remain joint leaders. We'll join it in the first half.
This is Nani now. Can he deliver a decent cross this time? It's dipping and Lopez will have to watch it. Pedro Alves to take the free kick. It was dangerous, but Ricardo really should have done better, and then Borges with the rebound well over. Good ball in from Martins. Bueno with the header. Decent stop from Lopez, and Amadora just about scramble it clear. Decent ball again from Martins, and Tonel gets the goal this time. Sporting in front, and it's no more than they've deserved. And still unbeaten away from home this season. Can they keep the record up? It's looking good. Started the half much better, Amadora. This is Jones, decent turn, decent shot. Ricardo makes a meal of it. Martins to drive it, and Lopez parries it away. Martins this time with the corner shot. Ronnie with a great ball in, and Lee Edson misses a superb chance. What a great delivery from Ronnie.
Elsewhere in Portugal, struggling Académica were denied victory by Miguel Pedro's 88th minute equaliser for Pacos Ferreira, and Aves lost again to a late goal against Victoria Setúbal. Reigning champions FC Porto are tied at the top with Sporting. Benfica have recovered from an inconsistent start and are now up to 4th. Amadora and Aves are still in trouble. Neither side has won yet this campaign. Beira-Mar are on the slide. They're down to 13th. In the Italian Serie A, Palermo missed the chance to go top after crashing to a surprise home defeat against Atalanta. The away side started brighter and took the lead when Antonio Bernardini's cross was headed home by Cristiano Doni. But Palermo responded strongly to that setback, and they drew level soon after when Carvalho Amauri's teasing cross was volleyed in by Aussie Marco Bresciano. Atalanta regained the advantage when Claudio Rivalta lashed in from close range after the Palermo defence had failed to clear a routine corner. But Palermo again drew level on the stroke of half-time when Pereira Adriano hauled down David Di Michele. A penalty was the obvious outcome. Eugenio Corini stepped up to convert from the spot. But the hosts failed to capitalise on their chances after the break, and Atalanta won it with a great strike from Fernando Tissoni. Roma struggled to find their feet in the sodden conditions of the Stadio Granillo, but they did start promisingly enough. Francesco Totti saw this deflected shot fizz just past the post. Shortly after the restart, the capital giants were stunned when Nicola Amoruso punished the visitors with a beautifully struck volley past Alexander Doni. Roma threw men forward and came close to levelling through Daniel De Rossi's acrobatics, but the Amoranto held on for 3 vital points in their fight for survival. A wonder goal from Giuseppe Mascara gave Catania a shock lead at the San Siro as Inter Milan looked to regain top spot. Inter quickly cleared their heads though, and parity was distorted as Dejan Stankovic met Luis Figo's pinpoint delivery with a precise header. Only Armando Pantanelli's sharp reactions denied Santiago Solari from giving into the lead after the break. But the home side should have been in front on 69 minutes when Mauro Minelli was penalised for a foul on Julio Cruz. The Argentinian stepped up to take the kick himself, but was denied by a great save from Pantanelli. The Catania keeper was in inspired form. Could Inter get past him? Well, they did 6 minutes later when Stankovic fired in a right-footed volley through a crowd of players to finally give in to their lead. The Serbian is in a rich vein of goal-scoring form. This was his 3rd of the campaign. Elsewhere in Serie A, Fiorentina claimed 3 valuable points at Empoli with a 2-1 triumph, while a late goal from Kaka Kaladze rescued a point for Milan at Sampdoria. Consistency will be the key if Inter Milan are to maintain their title challenge. Defeats for Roma and Palermo leave them trailing the leaders by 2 points. Fiorentina are rock bottom and still facing a tough slog to get out of trouble. Lazio have moved to within a point of wiping out their deduction.
For the final time this week, let's catch up with the tipster. His last port of call is the Italian Serie A.
AC Milan have already wiped out their 8-point deduction after the match-fixing scandal, and whilst unlikely to win Serie A this season, they do have a point to prove to third-place Palermo this weekend. The Rossoneri has refound its fighting spirit and fought back from a goal down at Sampdoria to earn a draw, but strikers Inzaghi, Oliveira and Gilardino have failed to fill the goal-scoring void left by Andrei Shevchenko's departure. But you have to respect Palermo at 9-20, especially with danger men Eugenio Corini and David Di Michele leading the attack.
That's it for this week, but we leave you with our Goalissimo gaff of the week, and it comes from the Netherlands, where Ajax keeper Martin Stekelenburg got caught short against Groningen. And from the ridiculous to the sublime, our goal of the week is from Italy, and this sensational volley from Catania's Giuseppe Mascara. Join us next time for more of the same on Goalissimo.
Keep your eye on the ball with detailed listings of all the sports coverage coming up in the week ahead on Channel 4. Press text page 431. We continue our trawl around the world, but for all sports. Trans World Sport, next.